Philippe, how would you describe the feeling amongst you and the players after Sunday, and what is the challenge like to recover from that and move on?
That was a big disappointment after the game in Kilmarnock, what we talked about after the game also, that me, the players, staff, fans, nobody was happy with the level of performance and for sure with the results. So then you need to switch your mindset and look forward, and you want to react as fast as possible. That's what's going on in the dressing room. That's the same with me. So you want the next game to come as fast as possible and to win that one. That's what football is all about, and it's about the really good moments, to enjoy that, but not to enjoy it too much, because then a few days later there's the next game and you need to be ready again, and in the difficult moments to switch fast, to react in a good way. So that's what I expect from tomorrow.
We often speak about how important the fans are on these big European nights at Ibrox. How confident are you that the fans are still with you and that relationship hasn't eroded?
No, of course, fans are not happy now, and you guys and we talked a lot about that, all the circumstances, sportive, non-sportive, of the last couple of months. So that doesn't help, for sure. They're not happy after the last results. They were happy after Malmö, for example, so it goes up and down. It's about creating consistency again, creating momentum again with all the squad, with the results, and then also extra sportive to do the right things in the club, to create also stability towards the outside. So it's about that, and everybody needs to work hard to get that the next weeks, the next months to come.
There seems to be, Philippe, especially after Sunday, a growing number of fans who are losing faith in the direction of the team at the moment. What would be your message to those fans who are losing faith?
Yeah, that's... We spoke about, and I don't want to repeat it too much, but about a big rebuild in many ways, with cutting wages to make the club sustainable for now and for the future, because there were decisions made in the past, before the time that I was here. So I stepped in that story after long talks for the long term, also to making long-term decisions together with the squad, together with the board towards that for the future. So we are working really hard with the players, everybody in the staff, to make it as fast as possible back at that level that this club was maybe 12, 15 years ago, or in moments in the last couple of years, never over a long period. So that takes time, and we're going to work hard on that. It's a process you need to follow. It's about performing well, maybe less days, and you want to avoid that as much as possible. So that was one of the lower days for sure against Kilmarnock in a specific circumstances also now, and it's about reacting now towards Steaua Bucharest. And I have a lot of confidence in this squad for the short term and for sure for the long term also.
You mentioned time. Do you have a time in mind when you think this squad will click or will be completed at the vision that you want? Because
those are good questions for everybody who's never been a manager or a player, because there are so many circumstances that you don't have under control that you cannot say that. There are players who come to a team and from the first day they feel good. There are other players who need 3 months. There are players who need 6 months. They are human beings. There are those are no machines. So you can ask these questions and I understand, and everybody does all over the world. There's not one manager in the world who can say that for any transfer in that way. So we did a lot. We had to do a lot also because of the circumstances. So it's about working hard with the players, with the staff, to get the players as fast as possible in their best form, feeling good in the club, getting the connections together on the pitch, learning how to play together. There are so many things to do, and it's just a small part of all the list that needs to be done. So that takes time. But is there somebody who can predict How fast that goes, not. And it also emotions in that way has a lot to do with results. We could have played that game against Kilmarnock also and winning with 0-1. And then there's a totally different emotion for the moment. It's now getting consistency in results, in performances, and growing as a team.
Philippe, just further on from that, what Ronnie was saying there about you ask patience and a bit of time at the start.
No, I don't ask.
No,
everybody asks that. That's what normal in this situation.
Yeah.
With the decision that's made before the season, where this club had to go to stay sustainable and to become better for the future.
When we were speaking to you at the start of the season, you said it would take, because it was such a big rebuild, a few months for the players to settle in. You said it would be about October, November until we saw.
You come back and you did it last week also. I don't know you, but I said the team will be better in October, November than it was in August. That's also the case. It will be better also in September. I think everybody was really positive about the Malmö game, for example. That was better than in August. So we need to get to that level more consistently, and there we're working on.
And you're confident that you are still on that trajectory?
For sure, 200%.
Philippe, when you were speaking with the board about your new contract, which you signed, was there an understanding that they would give you the time that you're looking for? Because patience in football is in really short.
Of course, that was all the idea about the contract from the board, and also for me to show that I would not leave if something else came along the way. So everybody who did his job or has worked in football knows to make that rebuild and cutting wages and making the club sustainable and investing in young players for now and for the future, that it takes time. You cannot do that in 1, 2, 3 months. That's impossible. Or you need to have all the luck in the world that everybody directly settles in, that there are no injuries, and that in all the games everything falls your way. It could have happened. That's a small percentage of possibility, but in general it doesn't.
Philippe. And then for you then, you need the fans to trust in you, to trust in the board and have that patience. Is that what you're saying? Even if results are not great this season?
Yes, because it's going to help, and we talked a lot about that last season. And all the fans were behind the story. They were really happy with the story. I didn't go in the hype that moment or in the Harry Potter stories in that moment. So I don't go in the drama also now. There is a big space in between, and we're in that space in between. And the fans will see the next months that this team will become better. But the more they stick behind the team, the more they are positive, the more they are supporting, the more they give the team energy, the faster it will go also. But we understand also from our side that the fans need to see also things on the pitch. So we were not happy with the performance in that way against Kilmarnock. All of us were not happy about that. And I don't want to hide behind excuses of the kind of pitch. It's kind of a reason, but I don't want to use that. Not before the game, not after the game. So we're gonna keep on working hard to make things better as fast as possible.
Philippe, John Bennett, before he stepped down, spoke about the club getting away from this cycle of rinse and repeat, sacking managers 2-3 months into a season. But at this stage again, 3 months into a season where some fans are suggesting that a change of manager. But from your point of view, constantly doing that, bring in somebody new players, new methods, does that just lead to the cycle that the club's on? Is this stability is key to get you out of this
Of course,
situation?
it's the only way, but it's also not the only way here. It's been the only way in clubs all over Europe or all over the world. If you change ideas every 3 months, 6 months, or every year, of course there's no consistency in the club. So you need to follow a track, you need to follow one process that everybody keeps on going in the same direction. So that's crucial. Otherwise, you always have ups and downs, and you will change a lot. Because if you go in the emotion of the day, or one result or two results, then you can never create consistency over the long term.
It's not going to be an easy process, but it's a process that has to be done. Is that the message?
Yes, and everybody's working really hard to make it as fast as possible. So that I can give to the fans. So people who are not happy now, I understand. I totally understand. They were probably really happy with me 6 months ago or 9 months ago. So I'm still the same man working. No, I can say working even much harder than I did at that moment, because there are much more things to be done, not only on the sportive side but also on the non-sportive side in this moment in the club. So I'm throwing myself on all those things because I engaged myself in that way in the summer and before the summer in all those talks, because I believe so much in this club and the potential it can have for the future and to bring it back where it was before.
Philip, do you see enough evidence across the last few weeks that this is a side that's going in the direction that you want it to go in?
Yes, in certain details, and if we speak about the Malmö game, I think it was a really good European game and an away game with good football, with good results, with the kind of football that fans want to see, not only with the ball, also without the ball. So on that way we need to continue.
Well, how do you explain the difference in performance level between what we saw in Malmö that night and Sunday?
I don't want to go into that. It's a totally different game, and I don't want to use that as an excuse. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but it's part of the story there. But it's not an excuse, we should have won. But we will never play the same football as in Malmö, in Kilmarnock. But we should have played in a better way to win the game. But to see really good football, there on the pitch, you will not see it. Really good football. That's the circumstance, but I don't want to hide behind that excuse. But it's about winning, and we didn't win.
When you look at the season so far, what have you been pleased with, and what are the areas that you need to see improvement in?
That's for me a question. Ask me this question halfway when we played the 19 games. That's a good moment to make an evaluation like that. Because now it's focused on the next game, and the next game getting people back. About positive points, I was yesterday at the second team game, watching the players, watching the young guys, watching Danilo back, scoring a goal, getting back in shape, and he still has a long way to go. Those are also positive points that for the moment fans don't see. Yes, that's normal, because Danny still has a way to go, but he's going to be also important in that way on the things we want to achieve the next couple of months. But it's daily work in a lot of things.
Is Zach Lovelace somebody who's in consideration for tomorrow night?
He will be in the selection, yes.
And the rest of the team news, Ridvan, is he back? Any other injury news?
He's not yet in the selection because Ridvan trained now the second time with the first team, but he came out of a serious injury. It's too fast for him to put him in again, but he's in positive form.
Philippe, one of the criticisms of this team is that there's maybe not enough leadership shown in games on the park. Do you think you have enough leaders in this team?
We're working on that to make it better and better, and we have several. We had more before because we had a more mature squad. That's logical. There are several young players with potential to grow in that way. I used Conor Barron as an example in that way, that he did really good things in his first weeks in the club here, and he has a lot of potential for the future in that way. But of course, being a leader in Rangers is something else than to be in another club. So you need to grow in that role also. That's also part of all this process. That giving these players responsibilities, giving them the mandate to be a leader in that way, and to evolve and to become stronger, and also to see how people react in the difficult moments. Like now, it was after Kilmarnock. It's very interesting now to see who stands up, who has more difficulty with that, who has more difficulty with all all the negative attention on social media or in the newspapers or whatever, how to react with that, with the new guys who come into the building, because it's also part of being a player at Rangers that when you don't win, you're not good. As a player, as a manager, as a press officer, as a chairman, as whoever it is. That's part of being at this club. That's also the parts everybody needs to embrace, because this passion from the fans, from everybody, you get it also back in the good moments. Otherwise, you don't have those also.
Philippe, you know as well as I do, there's a lot of anger after Sunday. One of the main complaints is Rangers' style of football, too many long balls, too many needless passes side to side. How do you respond to accusations that this team boring to watch?
That's two totally opposite things that you say there. So
That's the
it's
accusation
or
from
long
the
balls or sideways passing. So
Well, the
it's-
accusation from the fans is there's too much of it and there's no attacking play and they're boring to watch. How do you respond to that?
No, but what you say now, is it too many long balls or is it too many sideways passes?
It can be both.
It's about creating not enough chances. That's then the conclusion at the end. I agree with that in the Kilmarnock game. It was the case. In other games we created more chances, not in all the games until now, but you see also we are starting to play also with new players in that role who are just in the building. Nedim Majrami is how long here? 4 weeks or something? 6 weeks maximum? And in the 6 weeks he's been 3 or 4 weeks away with the national team. So they're just in the building. There are other players in other clubs who come to their better level now after the first 6 months that everybody said that they were not good. So Nedim did already good things, but of course you need to create these connections on the pitch more and more to get to know each other, which moment to run, which moment to play deep, which moments to create the chance or the shot. We need to create these moments with playing more and more together.
Is Zach Lovelace somebody that can help you? I was there last night, he had a really good 45, he came off earlier than he maybe thought he would have got on instruction. Is he the kind of excitement or the kind of difference that you feel at the moment that can come into the team and help? Because the fans are looking to be excited by somebody.
Yes, but Zach is not there that the fans will be excited for 10 games in a row. So he can do specific things that in another style than other players in the squad. But there's still also a lot of things to work on, and at the moment he's just 18 or 19 years old. But it's an interesting profile for the future. And for the near future, maybe also. That's why we decided before the game that it was maximum 60 minutes to play, and we would decide during halftime if it was 45 or 60. In 45 I saw enough because I want them on the bench for Thursday also, if it's necessary, that we can use that kind of profile, what we have less in the squad now because of injuries of other players.
Just a word on Bucharest, if that's okay. If they play as they did in Greece and against the Latvians, they could be really difficult.
Of course, it's you need to have a lot of respect for them. They have 6 out of 6. So, and they did it in a good way. It's a very good technical team with a lot of offensive power. So we need to play a game at the level of Malmö to get the 3 points again, and that's what we want to do tomorrow.